What does Frodo from Lord of the Rings, Andy from Shawshank Redemption, Ridley from Alien, Odysseus from the Odyssey, and you have in common? You've all suffered. But what do they have that you don't? They have an audience cheering them on, knowing that there is going to be a payoff to all of this pain. They are the hero of their story. You are on the toughest journey of your life right now, and you need to be the hero of your story and the audience cheering you on. And I'm going to walk you through the mindset shift to get you there. Because this one change will make the journey more bearable, possibly even shorter, and make sure that you get your own happily ever after. So you might be thinking, why do I even need to bother with this? Am I not already doing enough tools and techniques? I'm working with my nervous system, I'm managing my symptoms, I'm living my life. But I would argue that this mindset shift is actually one of the best things that you can do because it makes everything else more effective. It's kind of like the tide that lifts all boats. And without a mindset like this, it's really easy to get steered off course. Because if you've been in pain or sick for any length of time, you know that it's not just about dealing with the symptoms. It's also about dealing with the hopelessness and despair that is threatening to swallow us on a daily basis. And there is this ever-looming question, why me? And this mindset shift, becoming the hero of your story, gives you an answer to that question. When you ask yourself, why me? Suddenly it becomes, of course me. This is my story. This is my journey. This is my Mount Doom. This is my Odyssey. Having an answer to that question, I kid you not, saved my life. It was the most important thing that I had when I was sick. When you become the hero of your own story, it brings a sense of confidence and focus and readiness. And that is powerful. If you take that to everything else you're doing, I guarantee everything else will become more effective. Obviously, I don't guarantee it. You can't make any guarantees, but I will eat my hat if you don't feel better with this mindset. But that does open up the next question is, okay, that's all very nice, but if you're in pain, really the only thing you care about is getting rid of the pain, not just for the pain to be more bearable. So does becoming the hero of your own story actually help with that? Yes. There's a growing body of research about how the brain generates pain. And not only that it generates pain, but it is affected by the thoughts and stories that we tell ourselves about the pain. Not just the pain, but how we speak about ourselves, how we think about our life. It all affects our brain's pain output. There are so many researchers diving into how the brain and pain actually works, how our nervous system drives the symptoms and sensations that we experience, and changing the way that you view yourself, changing the way you speak to yourself, changing the way you think about that pain will have an impact on that pain. Not only will it help it reduce, but it can even shorten the journey. Because what is this journey? This journey is us figuring out how to feel safe in our own bodies, how to feel secure in our own lives, in our own worlds. And what better way to do that than becoming the hero that this journey will inevitably make us. Now, if this idea is getting you excited, then I think you're really gonna like my email series. I wrote these emails thinking, what did I need to hear? Because I have been there and done that, and I really hope that my mistakes will help other people. Okay, my last argument for why you should make this mindset shift before we actually get into how to do it is giving this journey purpose will ensure that you come out of it better, not bitter. Because pain, as I said in the beginning, is not just pain. Illness is not just illness. It is all the mental stuff that comes along with it. Dealing with the grief of years lost. If the pain doesn't have a purpose, if there is no point to this journey, if there is no answer to that question, why me? It is so easy and understandable to feel bitter. If I didn't have an answer to that question, why me? Oof. All I would be thinking about is the lost years in my 20s. Everything I could have been doing. I would feel so heartbroken. There were many times that I started to slip into bitterness. I used to look at other people not looking after themselves and feel rage. This deep sort of resentment for like, why aren't they falling apart like I am? But when I made this shift, when I decided like, no, that's not the path I want to go down, when I decided like, no, this is gonna pay off in some kind of way, I don't know how, but it bloody well will, that gave me strength, and that made me better, not bitter. Changing the way you view this journey changes who you are at the end of it. So, how do you become the hero of your own story? I'm sure there are lots of ways to approach this, but these are just a few ideas, a couple of which served me really well when I was in the thick of it. So the very first technique is probably the simplest one, and it is a very commonly used tool in psychology to take the third person perspective. So it's very common to not be able to see your own problems clearly. You know, it's so classic, like you're in a relationship and it feels really complicated, but your best friend is just saying like, just break up with him. And you're like, no, it's not that simple. And then we do the same thing for the friend. The friend is in the relationship. She's saying it's so complicated. She doesn't know what to do. And we're like, it's pretty simple. And that is because we are on the outside of it. But you can actually harness that for yourself simply by taking the third person perspective. So instead of saying, I am in this situation, I don't know what to do, I am stuck with this, I am dealing with all these issues, you say, Mary is stuck in this situation, Mary doesn't know what to do, Mary is looking for answers, Mary is trying to figure it out. Not to mention, it's so much easier to be nice to another person than to ourselves. We are so often so much harder on ourselves than we will be on anyone else. The second technique is one that I used quite a lot when I was really unwell, and that is to imagine that your life is in acts. So you've got act 1 before the illness kicked in, maybe when the triggering events happened. Maybe it wasn't a specific event, maybe it just crept in over time, but that's act 1. Act 2 is where you're at right now, really in the thick of it. You're walking through the swamps, Gollum's trying to kill you, the alien is on the loose. Act 3, the resolution. That probably won't look like killing an alien for you, probably won't look like throwing the ring into the lava, but there will be a resolution. There will be more of a gentle coming down the other side of the mountain. And then there's the epilogue. And something that I did was I wrote myself letters from the epilogue, from my epilogue's perspective. I wrote letters talking to myself, reflecting on where I was in the present, going, you got through that. You did so well. You learnt so much. You gained so much strength. I'm so proud of you. Talking to yourself from the future. You are Frodo on the boat, shipping off with the elves. You're looking back and being like, yeah, I did that. Hopefully with less scars and PTSD. Maybe a little PTSD. I think we all have like a tiny bit of PTSD when this whole thing is done. I'm still dealing with some of the mental load of being sick for so long. Like, it's okay to not feel completely okay, even after the symptoms have faded. That's a topic for another video. Another thing you can do, kind of similar to the epilogue, is take stock of everything you've learned so far. Go through all the months and years that have happened so far, all of the events, all of the trials and tribulations, and be like, okay, what can I extract from them? What can I write down for my future self that I don't want them to forget? What lessons can I take from this that I will use in the rest of my life? And I guarantee there will be lessons in there that will serve you. Obviously, I don't guarantee it. You can't make any guarantees, but... And the last technique is the most simple one, and that is to have one phrase, one sentence that sort of distills down everything that we've just talked about. A phrase that gives you strength when everything feels way too hard and complicated. Something simple and essential to come back to. For me, that phrase was, "This will be worth it." That may not land for you, but it landed for me. On the days where I was lying in bed, completely completely knocked out, you know, struggling with drug side effects, struggling with the symptoms, struggling with mental everything, I just would lie there and I would just remind myself, say it again and again, this will be worth it. This will one day be worth it. I know that this has a purpose. This will be worth it. This will be worth it. This will be worth it. I've got this. I've got this. This will be worth it. There will be days that you can't say that phrase. There will be days where even those words don't land, and that's okay. You know, this isn't something that you sort of do once and is done forevermore. This is an ongoing process, a slow shift into this new way of thinking, this new way of viewing yourself. It doesn't happen all at once. But if you can have that touchstone, that anchor, to sort of keep your head above water, that will be very helpful on the days when things are really, really hard. So pick one of these and give it a go. These are just 4 ideas of, I'm sure, many, many other ways to approach this. And if you come up with a different way that works for you, please drop it in the comments, because this is something that has to be your own. It has to work for you, which is a perfect segue into the caveats. Because as with anything that we do in life, on this particular nervous system journey, there's always a way to take it too far. So if you decide to adopt some of these techniques and give this mindset change a go, please just keep this in mind. A, keep it simple. This doesn't have to be complicated. This isn't going to be published into a novel. Who knows, maybe one day it will be, but for now, keep it simple. Second, there is no enemy on this journey. I know that a hero usually means there's a villain or an enemy, but there isn't. Your body is not the enemy. Your nervous system isn't the enemy. You are not the enemy. This is more like one of those Japanese Zen tales where there is no enemy, it's just all about the journey. Third, let this take as long as it takes, because slow is smooth and smooth is fast. This is probably the biggest mindfuck of nervous system work, is that the harder you try to make it go fast, the slower it goes. And lastly, listen to your body and your mind's signals. If you are trying to do any of the techniques in this video, if you're listening to any of my videos at all and you're feeling that tight, uncomfortable feeling in your chest, if you're just kind of like not vibing with it, that's okay. That's okay. That just means that this particular tool is not for you right now. If you want a companion on this journey, please check out the email series, because that is me dropping into your inbox once a day for a couple of weeks, and then every now and then after that, I can be your Samwise Gamgee.
I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
And if you like these kind of mindset shift videos, then do check out this video about when doing what you love causes you pain. Sending you so much love. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.